We were all taught the same story in school, that the Amazon was a vast, untouched wilderness, too hostile for humans to ever build a civilization. They called it a green desert, a place where history went to die. But a new laser technology called LIDAR just stripped away the trees to reveal a truth that history books haven't caught up to yet. Beneath this canopy lies a 2,500-year-old geometric megacity hidden in plain sight for 2 millennia. This isn't just a discovery, it's a revolution that rewrites the human story. Welcome to the Upano Valley, the empire of the ghost architects.
Imagine a world where the streets are 30 feet wide, the soil is man-made, and the cities are invisible. For 2,000 years, a high-tech empire has been hiding in plain sight, buried under the roots of the Amazon. You were taught this place was empty. Today, I'm going to show you why that's the biggest lie in archaeology. Today, we aren't just looking for ruins. We are looking for the ghost of a civilization that mastered the impossible. This is the secret genius of the forbidden Amazon. New LiDAR discovery rewriting ancient history. Everything you were taught in school about the Amazon is officially wrong. For over a century, we believed a lie. We were taught that the Amazon was a pristine wilderness, a natural cathedral where humans were merely guests. We thought the soil was too acidic to farm, the jungle too dense to build, and the climate too hostile for anything more than small nomadic tribes. But we were blinded by the trees. In 2024, a team led by archaeologist Stefan Rostein released the results of a 20-year study in Ecuador's Upano Valley. Using LiDAR technology, they stripped away the leaves to find a massive urbanized society that flourished from 500 BCE to 600 CE. This wasn't just a village, it was a technocracy, a civilization that used advanced engineering and unique inventions to conquer the world's most difficult environment.
The biggest impossibility of the Amazon was food. Standard tropical soil is oxisol. It's yellow, acidic, and nutrient-poor. Traditional history says you cannot feed a city with yellow clay. But the Upano and their neighbors invented a solution. Terra Preta, Amazonian dark earth. This wasn't just compost, it was a sophisticated biochemical invention. By mixing charcoal, bone, manure, and pottery shards into the earth, they created a live-in soil that actually regenerates itself. The science: the charcoal acted as a sponge for nutrients, preventing the heavy rains from washing them away. The result? They transformed millions of acres of dead jungle into the most fertile soil on Earth. They weren't just gathering fruit, they were manufacturing the ground they walked on. This invention allowed for a population density that rivaled the Roman Empire. While the Romans were building with stone and the Egyptians with limestone, the Amazonians faced a challenge. The Amazon has no stone. To build a city, they had to invent a new form of architecture: earthen platform engineering. The platforms. Archaeologists found over 6,000 rectangular earthen mounds. These weren't just piles of dirt. They were precision-engineered platforms, some 65 feet long, designed to lift homes and temples above the floodwaters and mud of the rainforest. Urban layout. They didn't build one megacity center. They invented garden urbanism. They spread the city out, interweaving residential platforms with agricultural terraces and orchards. It was a green city 2,000 years before the concept existed in modern planning.
The most spectacular reveal of the LiDAR data was the road network. In the Upano Valley, archaeologists found a system of roads that were 33 feet, or 10 meters, wide, and stretched for over 15 miles, 25 kilometers. But here is the spectacular part. They were perfectly straight. In a jungle, a straight line is an engineering nightmare. It means you have to cut through hills, fill in ravines, and manage constant erosion. The invention of the grid. These roads weren't random trails. They were a planned grid system that connected different urban centers like Shanghai and Kilimope. The purpose. This suggests a centralized government capable of massive organized labor. You don't build a 33-foot wide highway just for foot traffic. You build it for a continental trade network.
The Amazon is defined by water, too much of it. To survive, the Upano people became hydraulic engineers. LiDAR revealed a hidden world of drainage canals, deep trenches cut around the living platforms to prevent the structures from melting away during the monsoon season. Fish trapping pools, they engineered artificial ponds that stayed filled during the dry season, providing a year-round source of protein. Raised fields, they built waffle-like mounds in swampy areas, allowing crops to grow even when the surrounding land was underwater. This was a civilization that didn't fight the water, they redirected its energy.
Why is this as revolutionary as the Denisovan discovery? We shall now describe, beyond Denisovans, the 2,500-year-old Amazonian megacity found by LiDAR. The Denisovans proved that the human family tree was much more complex than we thought. The Upano discovery proves that the civilization tree is much more complex than we thought. For centuries, we believed that advanced civilization required stone, wheat, and dry land. The Amazonian Empire proved that you can build a superpower using earth, maize, and rain. This discovery effectively replaces the map of human history. We are realizing that while the Han Dynasty ruled China and the Roman Republic was becoming an empire, there was a third, equally powerful technological pole in the heart of South America that we simply couldn't see because of the trees. Around 600 CE, the Upano Valley went silent. The platforms were abandoned, the highways were swallowed by vines. Why? The volcanic theory, the valley sits in the shadow of the Shanghai volcano. Recent ash layer analysis suggests a series of cataclysmic eruptions might have choked the garden cities in gray dust, destroying the Terra Preta crops. The societal theory, just like the Maya, they may have reached a tipping point where their engineering could no longer keep up with the demands of their massive population. But the ghost remained. When the Spanish arrived in the 1500s, they heard rumors of El Dorado, cities of gold. They assumed it was a myth. They didn't realize they were walking over the ruins of a real El Dorado, not made of gold, but of engineered earth and brilliant inventions. The volcano may have silenced the valley, and the jungle may have buried the stoneless streets, but the ghost of this empire is not just in the dirt, it is in the people. To truly understand the Upano, we have to look at the fingerprints they left on their art, and the genetic echoes still vibrating in their descendants today. LiDAR has shown us the skeleton of the empire, but who were the people who gave it life? Who were the hands that moved millions of tons of earth without the help of horses, wheels, or iron tools? The geometric minds. Unlike the nomads we imagined, the Upano people were masters of geometric order. We know this because of the artifacts they left behind. Excavations within the earthen mounds have uncovered a unique style of pottery, bold red and white ceramics decorated with intricate, incised lines. The spectacular part? The patterns on their pottery mirror the layout of their cities. They were obsessed with symmetry and straight lines. This suggests a culture that valued mathematical precision not just in their engineering, but in their art and spiritual life. The relationship with the ghost lineage. You might wonder, is there a link between these people and the Denisovans? While the Denisovans lived tens of thousands of years earlier in Asia, modern genetic mapping has found a shocking ghost signal in the DNA of indigenous South Americans. Some Amazonian tribes carry genetic markers that trace back to an ancestral group related to the Denisovans, a group that crossed the Bering Land Bridge and carried that ancient high-altitude, high-endurance DNA into the heart of the rainforest. The Upano weren't just primitive tribes, they were the descendants of an ancient, hardy lineage that had been surviving the world's harshest environments for millennia. The Denisovans gave them the biological blueprint for survival. The Amazonians provided the intellectual genius to build a civilization. The Warrior Engineer Society. To build a 15-mile straight highway, you need more than just a shovel. You need a centralized authority. Archaeologists believe the Upano were a highly stratified society, a technocracy led by priest engineers. These leaders likely used their knowledge of the stars and the seasons to manage the complex waffle field drainage systems. They weren't just kings, they were the guardians of the infrastructure that kept the jungle at bay. Today, only 5% of the Amazon has been scanned with LiDAR. In that 5%, we found a civilization that rewrites the books. Imagine what is waiting in the other 95%. Every time the laser pulses, another impossible invention comes to light. We are finally realizing that the Amazon isn't a virgin forest. It is a ruined laboratory of ancient genius. The forest isn't hiding a wilderness, it's hiding our own history. Friends, if you like this video, please subscribe, like, and share to others. And wait for such interesting videos soon. Thank you for watching.